So Lincoln Riley is doing everything he can to make this a 5-hour football game. He has called 3 consecutive timeouts to ice Cameron Dicker, who says, "Ice this, Lincoln." 3 consecutive timeouts, 3 consecutive kicks go through the upright, and the last one counts. Texas is finally on the board versus Oklahoma. Sooners lead at 10-3. Oklahoma has dominated this game between the 20s. They have a far superior offensive and defensive approach right now. Oklahoma has clearly dominated this game, but it's only 10-3. Oklahoma has consistently moved the ball. They've had 2 costly turnovers. Again, Oklahoma's dominated the game between the 20s, but Texas gets on the board with the last-second drive engineered by Sam Ehlinger, and that last bit of a catch of Colin Johnson going out of bounds for 2 or 3 yards may have helped that one squeeze through the left upright. Lucas on the line. Georgia looks like crap. Don't have an updated score. I saw just a few minutes ago the Bulldogs were down to South Carolina 17-10. I saw Brian Edwards with a big touchdown grab in that one. I've been focused on OU and Texas. I have had Georgia and South Carolina on a second screen, and Michigan leads Illinois 28-0 with 1 minute left in the first half. Michigan's running the ball, but again, it's against Illinois. I appreciate everyone joining us for a halftime look at the noon games Eastern Time, Week 7. Hopefully you checked out my college football predictions for this week. How about them dogs? Edward, thanks for commenting. You as well, Lucas. We've got 11 on the line. Hopefully some more will join as we look at halftime here at noon Eastern. Oklahoma scored on the 4th and goal. CeeDee Lamb was impossible to cover. They ran a rub play, a pick play, and he was wide open for the touchdown, and it was 7-0. Whoever took the over in the over-under in this one, was it 77? Did I see 77 points in this game? You're dead. You're gone. It could be an explosive second half. Even if they go 28-28, 56 points in the second half, I'm sorry. You're dead if you took the over. Is this the Red River rivalry, the Red River shootout, or the Red River showdown? I prefer rivalry. It's the alliteration, I guess, of it. And that was the first one that I knew that I grew up with, the Red River rivalry. Is there something wrong with that? Neville Gallimore had a big sack on Sam Ehlinger early in the game. He was all over the place. I'm most impressed with the play of Kenneth Murray, who's been the leading tackler for OU the past few seasons. He is shot out of a cannon a number of times to track down Sam Ehlinger. When Ehlinger's broken contain and the field was wide open, Kenneth Murray has come out of nowhere a number of times to bring down Ehlinger. Colin Johnson is back for Texas. That has been huge in this game. He has made a difference. But again, it's the 2 big turnovers as Oklahoma, from a yardage standpoint, I know sometime in the second quarter it was 207 for Oklahoma and 51 for Texas. And it's something like that right now. Let's check out the halftime stats on this one as Oklahoma has dominated. They're a 3-touchdown better team right now than Texas. And I picked Texas to win this game outright and to certainly cover the 10.5 points. But we've got a 10-3 game. So we can go with one of 2 thought processes on this. Either these teams are very competitive and Texas or Oklahoma did not take advantage of its dominance in the first half, and they're in trouble. Texas is going to play better and not have this bad of a second half, or Oklahoma is this much better than Texas, and Texas is lucky to be in the game, and Oklahoma is going to run away by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Take your pick. 30 on the line. Appreciate you jumping on board for a look at Texas and Oklahoma. So at halftime, we've got Jalen Hurts at 9 for 15, 95 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The pick was his fault. He was flushed to the right sideline. 2 Texas defenders did a great job in pursuit took the right pursuit angle, cut him off, trapped him against the sideline. He should have never thrown the ball. He learned from it because the next time he was in a similar situation, he threw it out of the end zone, but he threw it right to Brandon Jones. I believe it was Brandon Jones, right? With the pick, I believe. Yeah, Brandon Jones had the pick for Texas at the goal line and brought it out. And even though Oklahoma did not score on that, they picked up a couple of key first downs to get them out of trouble and not have to kick it out to the 50-yard line. Jalen Hurts has been dynamic, but he's made the two big mistakes. He had the fumble inside the 15-yard line when they were going to score after he had a 21-yard run. And then the pick that I'm talking about was a poor decision that Brandon Jones picked off. So Jalen Hurts played his worst half of the year, and he was still explosive, 107 yards on the ground. And Kennedy Brooks had 4 for 43. CeeDee Lamb has not been covered in this game, 6 for 73 and a touchdown. And he had a 26-yarder in which he crossed all the way across the field, and Texas didn't pick him up. Couldn't keep up with him. Sam Ehlinger has been ineffective, not because of his fault. Just the Oklahoma defense has been impressive. Got to admit, this Oklahoma defense has been impressive in this game. They have pursued, and as I mentioned off the top, and many of you may have missed this comment, that Kenneth Murray shot out of a cannon a number of times. He's been all over the place. Ehlinger is broken contained. There's been a wide open field several times. Kenneth Murray, from the other side of the formation or from one of his 3-4 linebacker, inside linebacker positions, bam, all the way across the field to catch him. McD Sports 4, probably reacting to the Purdue-Maryland score right now. Wow. Boilers 30-14. Am I surprised? Nah, not really. Who else we got on the line? Good to see Lucas and Edward. George on the line. Texas never had a chance, but what is really funny, and I can't stop laughing, is South Carolina stomping Georgia. Are they stomping Georgia? Or they got to check this out. It was a 17-10 stomping the last time I looked at it. Need an update on Georgia, South Carolina. What do we got? Let's look at the scoreboard. Okay, South Carolina at halftime, 17-10. That's the stomping, 17-10. Saw Brian Edwards go down the left sideline, beat his coverage. The safety didn't help in time, and score the long touchdown. Michigan, 28-7 at half. Memphis, 4.5-point favorite, trails Temple, 23-14 in Philly. Those are the top 25 games. We also have in play the Purdue lead near halftime, 30-14 over Maryland. Tennessee leads at home, 10-3 over Mississippi State. I watched like 4 plays during a break in action at Dallas to flip over to the Big Ten Network and see Indiana and Rutgers. And Rutgers ran like 3 plays and lost like a zillion yards. And then on 4th and 18, Rutgers went for it. They were at the Indiana 39. They've got no kicking game. Rutgers went for it on 4th and 18, and the quarterback didn't have the presence of mind to just throw the ball downfield, and he ran out of bounds to lose 3 yards. Bowling Green up on Toledo 17-7. Duke leads Georgia Tech 24-7. All right, who else is on the line? What do you guys have here? Derek, I got to say, I've been impressed. This Texas team scored how many points and racked up how much yardage against LSU? A ton. 45-38 game. And right now, Sam Ehlinger has no running room. He's pressured. Then he takes off and runs, and there are no running lanes. He's not gaining yardage. They are either spying him. I haven't paid that close of attention to see if they've got a spy on him, or I just think they're filling lanes. Texas receivers, aside from a couple drives where they looked really good, they had about 3 or 4 downfield completions on one drive. Texas receivers not getting open, and the Texas running game from the running backs is inconsequential. Drake says Texas is a dumpster fire. OU should be up by at least 3 TDs. Yes, they should. So again, is our second half narrative that Texas can't stay with Oklahoma and it's only a matter of time? They're lucky to be within 7, or Texas played a bad first half and now Oklahoma is going to pay for not breaking free. Mary, Texas will always suck. Define suck. South Carolina still holding Georgia 17-10. Yes, Navy Thomas. I got to tell you, Brody, the OU defense is flying around, and especially Kenneth Murray, but the entire defense. Neville Gallimore has a sack. They are pursuing the football, and they're covering up receivers. And even when they give up the downfield throws for 10 or 12 or 15 yards, like they did on about 5 or 6 occasions, they make the tackle. Texas is missing more tackles in the open field than Oklahoma is. TCU will deal with them. Watch, Zoom play. Really? Okay. TCU has a lot of improvement, a lot of progress to make before they're going to deal with these two teams based on what I've seen of TCU playing the likes of SMU and some other teams. Texas is overrated. Again, let's see the entire football game. I would like to see the entire game. Right now, I'm thinking Texas is what Texas is, and that's not an elite team. Good team, second best team in the conference, a top 10 to 15 team. George, everybody liked this video just for the heck of it. No other reason. No other reason. You got no other reason, George, to like the video. I'm regretting posting that comment. McD Sports 4, if you aren't going to call a timeout when short of the first down under 30 seconds, go into halftime. Okay. Hey, Cheryl. How are you? Good to see you. Task Money 870. At least Alex Grinch is doing something. Didn't work at Ohio State. I don't know that Alex Grinch had much of a say on that defense. I don't think he had his fingerprints on that defense. I believe that was Greg Schiano, Task Money 870. That was the issue, and that was the mistake by Urban Meyer, is not allowing Alex Grinch. When you bring in too many top-flight assistants, you can do that, and they don't know their roles. You bring in too many guys that have seniority, that have track records, and you don't have a clear structure of who owns and runs the defense. And they didn't necessarily have that last year. And Greg Schiano, his scheme obviously didn't work. It was too complicated. The players were thinking too much, and they never adjusted. And they have cleaned it up big this year. But Alex Grinch, based on what he showed us at Washington State, can coach a defense. And based on what I'm watching here, and this is really Oklahoma's first test of the season. They've played one of the worst schedules, a garbage schedule to date. Houston's really not that good. UCLA's awful. They played Texas Tech a couple weeks ago. Now, Texas Tech did show us last week they beat Oklahoma State by 10. That was a pretty substantial effort by Oklahoma, not just beating Texas Tech because Texas Tech isn't that good, but beating them down like a drum, 55-19. Best team in the nation, sitting back watching and laughing. Edward, are we really calling the OU defense legit? Through one half in this game, that was a legit performance. That is a legit performance. Sam Ehlinger has -7 rushing yards. Vontae Andretti, Georgia does not deserve to be tied with Ohio State. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's a half of football. It's a half of football. Whoa, 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 whoa. And don't be concerned with the rankings right now. And actually, the top 25 that makes sense, you can find elsewhere. Zoom play. Ohio State is garbage. They play no one to date. Screwston. Welcome to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Screwston, this is the first time I've seen your handle. So welcome. Got to give Texas D some credit. 3 key starters out. Yes. The secondary depleted, especially, and they're hanging in there. And we still hanging with OU. So, Screwston, I believe you're a Texas fan. Welcome to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. I hope that you have subscribed. If you haven't, check out the videos. Look at just what we delivered on week 7, previewing all the big matchups and the not so big matchups. Zoom Play believes TCU has the best defense in the Big 12 inside Texas, best defense in the. I thought starting the season that TCU and Iowa State had the 2 best defenses in the Big 12, and Texas would be right there close. Navy Thomas, yes, Michigan should bomb Illinois 28-7. So the Michigan ground game, they have committed themselves to the ground game today, but I don't know that that really tells us much of anything. J-Bone Z, look at all the football experts in the comments. Nobody in this chat knows X's and O's. Do we know? Have you had a personal conversation with each and every person in the live chat room? First of all, we're college football fans here. We have various levels of knowledge of the game, knowledge of the teams. And you know what? We're good with that. We're okay with that. Everybody's welcome here. And like I often say, this channel is for hardcore college football fans, the smart fan. And if you're not the smart fan, you're still invited and we'll educate you. So Jay, it's a welcome atmosphere here. So, but I appreciate that you have personally interviewed everybody in the live chat. Clemson alum 98, analysis on South Carolina, Georgia. I will get to that. So I'm watching Oklahoma, Texas, and I do have alternate screens, but I am just not capable of really focusing on more than one game. So the only thing I can tell you about the South Carolina, Georgia game from watching it on a second screen is that Brian Edwards, one of my favorite receivers in college football, one of the reasons why is because when he was a true freshman, game number 1, Thursday night at Vandy, made some huge plays. And I said, man, this kid can play. And he's a big, tall, lanky kid who's filled out since, who can go up and high point the football. I love how he plays, and he's proven me right. And he is going to be South Carolina's all-time leading receiver by the end of this season. And I saw him take off down the left sideline, burn the corner. The safety didn't get there in time, and he burned Georgia for like a 50-yard touchdown. But I do have the game on DVR. I'm DVRing Michigan, Illinois, Georgia, South Carolina. I believe I will be able to get to those games later today and give you some analysis. Zoom play. Hey, Mark. Hope all is well. Bro, do you agree TCU bye week came at a good time? Because I have a feeling that they will take their frustration out on Texas and Oklahoma. So I don't have the TCU schedule in front of me, Zoom play. So I'm guessing that they're playing one of those 2 teams next week. Otherwise, I don't think there's going to be much of an impact. Saladin, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Dixon, Saladin, for never seeing your handle before. I am so appreciative of the comment that you just dropped. To give me a like and subscribe. Would love to know who you root for and how long you've been watching here. So Saladin, thank you so much for encouraging everybody else to subscribe and like the videos. And I'm seeing your handle for the first time. So it amazes me how many people just kind of lay back and watch, which is great. And then they come out of nowhere and tell people, like these videos and subscribe. A lot of comments about Texas being overrated. They are playing what I believe to be the 6th best team in the country. To me, right now, based on what we've seen, Ohio State, Georgia, I know they're losing by a touchdown at halftime. Okay. Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Alabama, LSU have separated themselves as the 5 best teams in the country. I believe Oklahoma's right there in the next grouping, at the front of the next group. And Texas, yes, they have been manhandled and outplayed, considerably outplayed between the 20s, but they've made the plays in the red zone, on both ends of the red zone, to keep themselves in the game 10-3. So I'm going to hold on that. The Texas is not overrated. They're a top 10 to 15 team in the nation. Few teams would be within a touchdown of Oklahoma at halftime. I am surprised by the Oklahoma defensive effort. Hound Dog, good to see you, man. Great to see you. I believe Hound Dog has joined us at the Voice of College Football Community. So in the description section of any of the videos, you get my predictions. And I really think that this is somewhat insignificant, getting my predictions, even though I enjoy making predictions and I'm pretty good at it. I'm not a professional, not an odds maker or handicapper, but I consistently hit 58 to 60% against the spread, which will make money. And my predictions are at the Voice of College Football Community, which you can catch that link in the description section of any of the videos. And I believe Hound Dog has joined us, so I thank you right there. And somebody else joined us last night. But exclusive live streams, think about that, folks. If you'd like to come on and talk college football with me on a regular basis, exclusive live streams per request over on the Voice of College Football Community. I'm going to check out the rest of the comments. We're about ready to start the second half. Sam Ehlinger gets his hands on the ball first. Anybody else with anything good? Devin Duvernay is coming out, and he gets thrown down at the 10 or wherever they're going to mark it. Ohio State is the best strength of schedule out of all the undefeated teams. Overall, probably not to date, Lucas, but they've got Michigan, Penn State, Wisconsin, of course. Got Tennessee up on Mississippi State. Jesse, Purdue's making all of us look dumb. Not that I said Maryland was going to win the game. I think I told McD Sports 4 yesterday it would be a toss-up. I said 50-50 shot. Anybody else with any particular comments? If I miss any comments out of any of you, got to go, McD Sports 4, I understand. If anybody is leaving a comment or a question that you want me to answer for sure, just copy and paste it and leave it in the comment section of any of the videos. Ehlinger going up top, gets broken up at the 50. Anybody else? Anybody else? Jay Jobs, thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. Thumbs up for the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. Texas on a 2nd and 10. Trips out on the right side, and they throw a screen, and none of these screens have worked. Ehlinger, when he's had time to throw, has carved up the defense downfield. But those screens have not worked. They've tried 3 or 4 screens at least. None of them have worked. Anybody else with anything in particular? Reasonable Gump. Alabama has a mediocre schedule, but they have the toughest single game out of any of the top 5 teams in LSU. Yes. Sure. Third and 7, big play here. Texas doesn't want to punt it back to Oklahoma with bad field position, but Ehlinger is going to make the first down. That was a great run. Trapped, zigzagged, eluded defenders, sprinted past everybody. First down, Sam Ehlinger. I like Sam Ehlinger. I think he stepped on the field for the first time at Texas, showed us leadership, showed us the guy is a baller. He plays hurt. He takes on linebackers and safeties. He's a tough kid. He's a leader. And they throw another screen. How many times have I said this? Texas has thrown about 5 screens, and none of them have worked. They have all been thrown for losses or minimal, like 1-yard gains. All of them, even with blockers in front. They obviously do not excel at the screen game, or Oklahoma must just be phenomenal covering screens. They throw the slant there. It doesn't work. Good pass breakup. The ball wasn't out in front, though. So that was kind of a marginal pass by Ellinger, not the best placement and pass breakup. So 3rd and 11. Eli's on the line. We got 34 on the line. We appreciate it. I'm going to hang with this series. Oklahoma's defense, 25th, 25% third down conversion rate, one of the best in the nation, but they played no one. But they're showing us something today. They are showing us, and just got a sack. So Oklahoma is covering downfield. They're tackling in space. Kenneth Murray shot out of a cannon again. They are rushing the passer. What are they not doing? They are doing everything on defense. They are checking all the boxes. Pressure on the quarterback. When the quarterback breaks contain and Ellinger can run, they're wrapping him up. He's not gaining yardage downfield. They're covering receivers. When the receivers have caught the ball, they're tackling in space. The only thing Texas doesn't have, they do not have a running game from running backs. That is one element of the Texas offense that is almost completely absent. All right, folks, appreciate it. I'm going to lock in on Texas, Oklahoma. We will have instant analysis of the Sooners and the Horns, and we've got Michigan, Illinois. And again, I'll catch up with these games later. And also want to check in and keep a close eye on Georgia, South Carolina, with the Dogs trailing by 7 in the 3rd quarter. Jesse. Hey, Mark, mainly they haven't allowed a point. All right, everyone. Appreciate you stopping by. We will see you very soon. Again, analysis throughout the day. I will try to give you heads-up notifications on when I go live. That will certainly be tonight in prime time and late night. Probably before that, instant analysis on all these games we're checking out right now. Plus the big 3:30 window, Texas, Alabama, Texas A&M, Alabama, Clemson, Florida State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and others. Appreciate you guys jumping on always. You guys keep me going. We'll see you soon.